I serve cold, but the Wolves and the Hawks never shiver in the snow. The Bulls keep it running, the Sox run the South, the Cubs run the North, but the Bears run the house. True Chicago sports fans got their ears to the street. Any team make a move and they never skip a beat. And in this house, this is where we be. Welcome to the show with E-Rock and Big Z.
Hey everybody, welcome back to TCSF. This is episode number 6. I am Big Z as always, and I'm joined by E-Rock. What up, E?
What's going on, Z, man?
Well, there's a lot of sports going on, and we got to catch up quickly.
Well, we finally actually have sports live, and we can actually see something on TV.
Oh, yeah. What's up with the Marquee Network?
Yeah, last minute, we got Marquee on Comcast. We all kind of knew it was happening, but, like I said before, I was watching Sox games if they weren't coming back. Now, I'm going to watch the Sox in general, but I was definitely getting a little nervous there, but I figured last minute we were going to get something.
Right.
One thing they do have on all these live broadcasts, artificial noise.
Some of it's good, some of it's bad. Getting a little bit used to it. Like when they hit the home run, I'm all for it. Pumping the noise, kind of get them hyped up. But some of that noise is it's distracting. What do you think?
I'll tell you what. If I was playing on the field and I'm used to hearing that noise and I'm used to hearing the surge of the crowd, absolutely. It doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I like the idea of the cardboard fans. I think it's cool. I think having your face up there, be like, hey, I represent the team. Or, hey, here's my kid, here's my dog, or whatever it is.
The Cubs are doing that, though.
The Cubs are not doing that.
I mean, I would purchase a Steve Bartman one.
Oh, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. That's terrible, man.
Put him in left field.
But well, they're only kind of doing it like behind the plate in certain pockets that you're actually seeing it.
Right.
Now the one thing is that I saw somebody say, well, we're finally at 2002 video game graphics on our live broadcast.
That's true.
That's what it looks like.
It does look like that.
Now, speaking of that, if you watch the Fox broadcast, they actually have the video game fans in there where they kind of like get up and get down and they move around. Yeah, that was a little weird. I didn't mind it. Like here's my problem. I don't mind a lot of things. Okay. I don't mind Joe Buck. I don't. I don't. It doesn't affect me. So I mean, like that thing, I saw people like get outraged about it, but it didn't really affect me. So while we're talking about that, let's run through some Cubs stuff real quick.
Sure.
If there's any doubt, Hendricks is absolutely the ace of this team.
Oh, my God.
The first game he came out, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I mean, like, he's calm, he's collected, He
looks like Greg Maddux out there.
He does. There's no sweat coming off this kid whatsoever. Then you go on to Darvish.
What's wrong with that kid?
Well,
so many pitches?
There's
like 17 different pitches he can throw.
That's true. I mean, it just depends on arm angles. I don't know. I mean, he's got more pitches in his repertoire than Japanese characters that he is part of his alphabet. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. I think some of the stuff that he does, it looks like he's trying to imitate the Japanese alphabet character. Just move his body around. But after the first inning, he was smooth. So, that's kind of been his thing for a while. But we had a great surprise. Chatwood was good.
Who's this guy?
Chatwood was good. I told you before, Chatwood probably has some of the best stuff in baseball when he can get it together. Yeah. He's a good pitcher. There's a reason why they signed him. Now, don't forget, they signed him before they signed either Darvish or Arrieta. So they always had an intention of him being in the rotation, and with Q going out, then he was 100% in there.
So he's really stepped up this year. It's just kind of like with the White Sox, you have pitchers that are night and day. And for Chatwood, he was really bad last year, and so far he's been really, really good this year.
We're talking about a very small sample size, but he was definitely good. But yeah, I mean, you keep moving along, and you look at what Lester did.
5 innings of no-hit baseball?
No-hit baseball, but guess what? What happened?
Your bullpen, bro.
What happened, bro? This bullpen is ridiculous. I don't know what is going on. I don't know if they're ever going to fix it. You got Kimbrel who's supposed to be the anchor. He's supposed to be your closer, and I don't know if it was...
I don't know, but his wings are clipped, bro. Those wings are clipped.
Look, no beard. I'm not a fan anymore.
You've got to go.
That was the one thing that was holding me on was that beard, man. That beard. But, I mean, like, look, he wasn't very good in Boston.
Nope.
His last good years, his last great years were with Atlanta. Mm-hmm. He moved on to Boston, didn't work out. We got him here. Here's the thing. If you're going to make that crazy gesture, I mean, you got to be good.
Yeah.
Right now, the only Cubs reliever that I like that did something weird before he pitched is Rod Beck. Remember Rod Beck?
Yeah, I remember Rod Beck.
Rod Beck used to let his arm hang to the side like it was about to fall off. Mm-hmm. That dude was a gangster. I love that dude. But, I mean, like, if you're going to do one of these wacky motions or whatever before you actually throw your pitch, you got to be good, because all you're doing is focusing, that thing on yourself. Like I said before, when they signed him, you had Schwarber in the I think he was in the locker room or whatever. He's motioning to someone, and what is he doing? He's dangling the arm.
Yeah, we got him. We got him.
Hey, we got him. So everyone's excited, but guess what? He's picking up where he left off last year. Beard or no beard, you got to go, man. I don't know what they're gonna do with this guy.
In an earlier podcast, I told you, when you asked me who am I going to take, I told you I would take the Cubs just because of the experience.
For this year.
For the 60 games, I told you have an experienced team. You have leaders that are proven, with Rizzo and Bryant and Hayward. You have proven leadership there. You've got superstars with Javi and Contreras, right? So, am I right so far?
We record this a couple days before we release, so we're sitting here on Wednesday. I'm looking at Northside's 4-1, but on the South side,
oh boy, here we go.
It could reverse that record, and I'd be correct.
So right now, my Sox, they're in last place, and I'm getting a lot of grief from all my Facebook followers. Where are the Sox fans? I thought you were supposed to be good.
A lot of
and
laughing
you're in last
emojis.
place. Oh yeah. I mean, come on, guys. Like, Cub fans, I love you guys, most of you guys. Some of you guys I can't stand, and that's okay. It goes both ways on both sides of town. Now, the Cubs, like I said, were my pick. But my Sox should be better, like everyone says. Yes, you're giving me grief, and that's what it is. So I got a couple points that, just looking at the last 4 or 5 games, of what's wrong. One, Rick Renteria. What the hell are you doing with the lineup? Up and down, you're changing guys that should be in certain slots and guys that should not be in certain slots. Here's my main point with that. Nicky Delmonico should not ever be higher than number 7 hitter. If you've got to have him in there for defensive reasons, which he's been horrible because he's missed like 2 or 3 cutoff throws, there's no reason he should be batting 4th.
Right.
Why is your number 1 prospect batting 7th? There's no reason. The Panther.
You talking about Lou Bob?
Lou Bob is amazing. I don't know if you saw this kid hit the ball.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Oh my God. And then he's in probably left center field. He runs all the way to right and cuts off Lurie Garcia and catches it right in front of him. Because he's like, nah, bro. I got this.
Now, that's going to be a problem because, you get these guys. He's going to be whenever you have these guys that think they can do it all, they're going to crash into someone. They're going to hurt themselves. But you got to protect these hitters too. I mean, look at what happened with Eloy.
Yep.
Eloy,
went after that ball in left field. Yep.
They're going to have to make him. He should be the full-time DH.
Yes, sir.
Flat out. You know what I mean? Like, what is he doing running into that wall like that?
Yeah. There's no reason he should be doing that. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm fine. You're trying to get it out." No, bro. When your first baseman sees you, that you're woozy all the way in left field and calls for the manager, hey, you know what? He's not good. Pull him out.
Right.
I mean, 1, that's great leadership on Abreu's part. But 2, we're trying to win the pennant here. There's no reason that you have to force yourself.
Well, you can't do that. You have to be more responsible with your body, and you have to be more responsible about the fact that recognize when you're not well so that you don't
hurt the team.
You don't harm your team. You don't harm your team chemistry. Right. That you can be honest with your manager so he can set his lineup, if he ever does, set his lineup correctly. Okay? You have to recognize that you're too valuable to your team to be doing something like that.
Right. Yeah. If it's a home run, let's let it go. I mean, I know you're trying to be a superstar, but at the same time, I'd rather you let that ball hit the top of the wall and it goes over than have you be out for 15 days.
Right, especially in a
60-game season.
Correct.
That's a third of the season.
Right.
I mean, a fourth of the season. All right, let me just run through this really quick. Starting pitching cannot give up big leads early in the innings. These last couple games, you're giving up 4 or 5 runs, 6 runs early. That puts so much pressure on the offense. And if you're missing Eloy,
yeah,
and Marza, who's supposed to be helping us out, you got 2 guys that are missing. And you compound that with the lineup that doesn't have McCann that can hit, and then
playing all the time, yeah.
Right. And then you have Encarnacion and you have Grandal. Like yesterday, no Grandal and no Encarnacion for the second game. What are you doing?
Yep.
What are you doing? All right, let me finish this up because I'm sorry, I don't want to get in a tangent.
No, you're good, man.
All right.
I'll tell you what though.
Yeah.
I'll give the Sox credit on one thing as a Cubs fan.
What's this?
In 2019, the Sox topped the Cubs in hat sales and like merchandising sales.
Oh, that's me. That's all me.
That's you?
Yeah,
You bought all the stuff?
Yeah, I bought all that stuff.
Well, what does that tell you? That tells you that they do have a lot of support.
They do. They do have a lot of
Going back
support.
from last year, when we all kind of recognize that they do have the potential to be the 2015 version of the Cubs.
Yes,
you know,
yeah,
or
definitely.
their version, or however you want to phrase that.
Well,
So,
they were fun to watch yesterday. Even they were losing games, but they were fun to watch.
They were fun to watch.
Yeah.
But now here's the thing. Now, granted, like I said, we're looking at the 15 Cubs. We're not talking about the 16 Cubs.
No.
Because the 16 Cubs came into the season, embraced the fact that they had
They were the
a
favorites.
target.
Yeah, they were the favorites at
They
that
were like,
point.
you know what? Screw. And what did they do? They went and they ran all the way through. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So the city is excited about the White Sox.
They are.
But, you know, you have to perform.
Yeah.
You have to perform.
This is your put up or shut up year.
And this is what I'll say. You have to at least, I'll give them a little bit of a break because you don't have that 162. Okay. 162, you're going to go up and down and up and down. You're going to have, you're going to have a random team like the A's who had like a 30-game win streak or whatever it was a couple years ago. I think it was the A's. You're going to have that type of thing. You're going to have your ups and downs. But guess what? You don't have that much time this year. So that's why when you see the Cubs come off to a hot start when they're talking about 4-1, that's, what is it? It's like 2.5 games per game.
It's 2.8, which pretty much rounds out to 3. So
Right.
if you lost 4 in a row, that's a 12-game losing streak.
Right. And you can equate it to that way. You know what I mean? Because that's how it breaks down. But that's what it is. So now here's something interesting that happened with your boy, lover boy, Michael Kopech. He opted out, right?
Yeah, he opted out. He said, I don't want to play this year.
Now, we talked about that last time.
Yep.
Is it because he's worried about his arm not being healthy?
Is it he's worried about COVID?
Or is it the fact that he married a super hot lady and now they're getting a divorce?
Oh, boy.
And she's pregnant.
Oh, boy.
And there was a lot of rumors out there that ain't your baby.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But she did come out and say, no, it's his. So, I mean, look.
Sounds like a Maury show.
Look, here's the thing. The kid had a lot of stuff going on. You got the arm. Even when they came out and says, well, is it mental issues? Is it mental health? You could count this as a mental issue if something's going on and something's in the back of his head. Because look, hey, what did Zobrist do? He took off, he took off a whole
It's about 85% of the season, right? Because he got divorced,
I
right?
got to work on my marriage from his creepy wife. That lady was terrifying. My brother met her in the stands and he took a selfie just to send it to me. I mean, I had friends that would like find her Instagram post and send it to me. And I mean, like, it kept me up some nights, just creepy. She is. Ugh.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this up with the Sox. A couple things. My last 2 points here. 60-game season, Grandal and Encarnacion shouldn't be both sitting on the lineup, all right? Those are your guys that you paid a lot of money for, and you need their bats. Sox should have different catchers for different pitches, man. And I mean, Eddie talked about this. We text each other because, we're baseball nuts. But Giolito, Cease, and Rodon should be McCann's guys. Those are the guys that McCann's worked with for a year or two, and they have the chemistry.
Yeah.
I mean, he's built them up, and they've gone to the All-Star game, Giolito and McCann last year. Those should be his pitchers. Grandal's side, granted, give him the new guys, and then when he's not catching, have him DH, and then have Encarnacion take a day off here and there. Let him rest. That's okay. We don't need him every day. Last thing, Madrigal needs to be here ASAP. This second baseman, Luis Garcia is not an everyday player. He is a platoon player that you can put in there at left field, maybe for an inning or two at the end of the game, or at second base for inning or two at the end of the game. He is not a starting quality player.
Here's the thing that doesn't make sense, though. We're not talking about a season where you're going to have minor leagues. So it's not like, we sent him down so he could get some more at-bats.
No.
You're basically just sitting around.
No.
You know what I mean? You could get in the cage, you could hit, you could practice however you want. You are not playing. It's useless. Get him on the squad, get him in there, and let's see what he can do. Otherwise, this is just a waste of time.
It is.
And it could be something where, like I said, where they're, biding time, trying to see what else do they already have that's who's ready, let's see what they can do, so on and so forth. But, I mean, you're kind of wasting time here, Lastly, to wrap up this local segment, let's do a little bit of Bears here. We have a lot of players in the NFL opting out. And one that we know for sure that's not going to do too well for us is the fact that Eddie Goldman has opted out.
That's your heart and soul of the offensive line, right?
Defense.
Defensive line, sorry.
Defensive line. Now, you take him away from a defense that is very good, but he played, I think, over 40% of the snaps on defense last year. You brought in Quinn. You're going to have a strong defense regardless. But when your defense is the strongest part of your team. You don't want to lose anybody. They just re-signed Goldman to a longer contract. He's, I think, 24 or 26. He's a young guy. He's not an older player by any means.
Okay.
But I mean, that is a big blow to your defense there.
Bears got rid of Mr. Shaheen.
They did. They did. Baby Gronk is no more in Chicago. He got shipped off.
Why did he even get that nickname?
Well, I mean, we're looking at what he did in college, and he's a big, tall, white guy. I mean, that's really what it came down to. The Bears got a conditional 6th-round pick in exchange for Shaheen. They took Shaheen number 45 overall 3 years ago.
At least they got something for him.
Well, they had something, but I mean, and I feel like a lot of these GMs, especially Pace, is much better on the later rounds than he is in the beginning rounds.
Yeah, anything from the 3rd round down, he's great.
Yeah.
First 2 rounds, he's not that great.
Yeah, I mean, look, we already knew that Shaheen was on his way out when they drafted Cole Kmet, and they brought in Jimmy Graham. So we kind of knew Shaheen was gone, and he seemed to be pretty fragile, too. When he did get the ball, he would fall down, go boom.
Sir.
He never got any yak. He was just a guy that really didn't do much when he did actually catch the ball. So, I don't know, man. The last thing about the Bears is that Nagy came out and said that there is an open competition for the starting quarterback job.
How? There's no preseason games. How?
Hey.
Are we going to start one guy in the first half and the other guy in the second half?
Well,
is that what we're doing?
Guess what? I've never worn a visor in my life, so I can't tell you what's going on in that man's head. I've never done it. I won't ever do it. I mean, granted, I'm going bald, but I don't need that solar panel to be exposed to the sun any more than it is. Nagy himself says we believe it's going to play itself out and it's going to be completely open. So that's going to be an interesting development. We'll see what happens. Is Trubisky going to take it because he's already familiar, or is Foles going to take it because the coaches know him? Like I said before, all he has to do is not mess up. Let the defense do their job. Come out there, do your thing. Throw the pill. Don't throw the pill when you don't need to.
Yeah.
And just do your job. Just don't do anything stupid.
Ball.
Well, that's that
You've
too.
got to run the ball for time of possession and giving your defense a rest.
Now, here's the thing. The Bears already lost one of their rookies. I don't even know this guy's name. It was an undrafted free agent who they lost and is going to be on the COVID list, the non-football injury COVID list,
right.
Okay? You still have really good players out there, running backs, that are sitting there waiting for someone to call them. You got Devontae Freeman from the Falcons, and you have Lamar Miller who's out there. There are players. Sign one of these guys.
Yes.
Sign one of these guys that's been in the league, that has experience, that has plenty of tread left.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
The Falcons did really well when they had Freeman and they had Tevin Coleman, together as a tandem. They let Coleman go over to San Francisco, okay, and they let go of Freeman because they got Gurley.
Right.
There's a reason why he's in the league, but why is he not signed? There's no reason the Bears shouldn't take a stab at this guy.
Why not?
It's ridiculous.
It's only going to be a win-win. Go ahead.
So there is one last bit of news that actually broke today, Wednesday. Today is the 29th. Governor Pritzker says that his administration is restricting youth and adult rec sports in Illinois, including IHSA and IESA, travel leagues, and park district programs.
Right.
Okay? What that means, we're talking no high school sports, okay?
No
or at least
sports.
restriction of high school sports, restriction of rec league sports, restriction of park district programs, okay? And travel leagues. Now, these are the leagues that my daughter plays in, my friends' kids play in, basketball, football, softball like we do, baseball. We're already playing shortened seasons. We're already playing. We're at least for my team, we got a 12U softball team. We're not even playing a schedule. We're not playing anything. All we're doing is going back and forth and doing our scrimmages and things like that. So we were hoping to do some fall ball.
No, not gonna happen.
But on the boys' side, they're already playing baseball. They have a regular season. So I
mean, besides that, you have your high school players again that are probably going to be seniors. They're going to miss out on their season. IESA, that's elementary school, so those kids are not going to get the reps they need. So by the time they get to high school, they're not going to be as good. You got travel leagues like you just talked about, and then the park district programs. Does that even include like the beer leagues too? Like just say, oh, no more softball beer leagues,
no more squish ball.
Yeah, no more squish ball.
Yeah.
Look,
I don't know. I think we're gonna get more details on this going forward, but the thing is that this is disappointing for a lot of kids out there. This is, if they can't play at all, if they can't at least do it in the spring, there's going to be a lot of kids out there that are not going to get their scholarships that they should have been getting for college. And that's going to hurt a lot.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with more TCSF, the podcast, with E-Rock and Big Z. Hey, guys, welcome back to True Chicago Sports Fans, the podcast, with your host, E-Rock and Big Z. Yo, E, you like wings?
I mean, you mean like chicken wings?
Chicken wings, bro.
Chicken wings are great.
Yeah, how far would you go for some good chicken wings?
I go pretty far. I don't know if I would go to Atlanta, like Lou Williams did.
Oh, boy. So Lou Williams goes to, quote unquote, a strip club in Atlanta for some wings. And I think this was after a funeral?
That's the story. They said that he had a family funeral. Afterwards, he went to Magic City.
Oh, boy.
Which is supposed to be this nightclub that happens to have strippers there. And I was just kind of looking on Facebook, and I saw someone did post
the plate
of those wings.
They look pretty good there.
Some guys are breast men. Some guys like thighs. Yeah. Some guys like wings. I mean, that's just what it is,
it's kind of like the what would you do for a Klondike bar, huh?
Would you leave the bubble and go all the way to Atlanta?
No, man.
No. But again, if they said it was after a funeral and he was already out anyway, he could have been like, you know what? Screw it. I'm already out.
Right. He's already out. Yeah.
Might as well go and get these wings. I mean, to be fair, Magic City is pretty popular. Mm-hmm. We see a lot of guys go there. Drake's been there. I'm sure every rapper ever has been there because it's a big place in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be just, like I said, a giant nightclub that happens to have strippers there. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's the excuse. But what you have right now is when you look at the two LA teams, you have the Lakers, who are going to be in full effect. It looks like they haven't slowed down at all. They've been pretty consistent in what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And you got the Clips, who got Lou Williams leaving the bubble. You got Kawhi, doesn't seem to be quite himself, so I mean, this is going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. That bubble is supposed to keep you safe, but when you're out there doing silly stuff, leaving to go get some takeout and this stuff, that's, I don't know, man.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of stories talking about contradicting each other in sports. You got baseball with no bubble. You got the NBA, you got the NHL with their actual bubbles and a lot less cases. If you want to talk about cases and bubbles, how about those Marlins?
Ugh. So we're talking about like half the team. There were
17. It was up to 17 today.
17 total. 15 players plus 2 coaches tested positive for COVID. Now here's the problem. Players tested positive before the Phillies game and still played after coming to agreement through a group text. A group text.
Right. I think wasn't one of the players in charge and not the manager in charge of all this?
Yeah, it seems to be that's the case. And so what happened? Now they suspended their games through the end of this week.
Correct.
And they suspended both the Marlins and the Phillies through the end of the week. Okay? Now, the thing is that the whole idea of this social distancing, no fans, keeping everyone safe, is to keep everyone safe. You know what I mean? It's interesting when you actually watch these games because you see some players wearing a mask on the field.
Yes.
You see some coaches wearing the mask on the field. Mm-hmm. You see some managers wearing it. And you see a lot that don't.
Yep.
So it kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
I mean, that it should be one of the mandated rules. Like, if you are in proximity of somebody, you should have a mask on. So, for example, you got KB or you got Abreu, and they play first base. Now, there's nobody on first base. No reason to wear a mask. Or you pull up the sleeve that goes over, that stretchable sleeve that they can put over their face. Yeah. But once someone comes up to first base, I'm putting the sleeve on.
Slide it up.
Yeah. And if you're going to be like KB, hey, bro, here's some hand sanitizer.
I think Rizzo is going to start wearing the mask, or at least he said he was.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rizzo, not KB.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Rizzo said that he's going to start wearing the mask on first base. Mm-hmm. But because for the most part, now the funny thing is that I saw a couple times when someone would get a hit and they're rounding third or they get a home run, you'd see the third base coach stick out his hand, and right when he's about to high five, he kind of pulls it back like we used to do in middle school, like psych.
Yeah, exactly.
Psych. But then I was watching the Reds and they actually high fived or low five or whatever they want to do. So I mean, look.
I think Francona too. Like, he hugged one of his players. He had his mask on the entire game, but you're still hugging. I mean, it's hard. It's so hard because you've been accustomed to do that since you were a little kid.
Right. So now let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you think that the MLB is going to make it through the season?
if they have another outbreak. No. Now, here's the thing. If this would have happened to the Dodgers, the Yankees, we would have a totally different narrative right now. But because it's the Marlins.
It was a crappy team.
They don't have attendance numbers as it is. They have a crappy team. They don't have a chance in hell of making it to the postseason. So I think it'd be a different narrative. Now, if you lost Aaron Judge or you lost, Stanton or Mookie Betts, you would have a different narrative. It would be a bigger story.
What this is causing is you're going to cause a shift in the dynamic of the natural competition. Okay, the competitive edge or the competitive fairness or however you want to word that. I know there's a certain phrase that I'm not recalling right now, but what you're doing is you're changing the way that the competition should be going, and that could be a problem. But again, like you said, if you have one of these better teams, one of these better players test positive where they can't play, your narrative is completely different. I mean, that could definitely be a problem. But let me ask you this. Do you think that they should have at least tried a bubble format?
I think so. Now, what I was thinking with the bubble format is that you have 3 or 4 locations as different bubbles. So everybody on the East Coast is going to play each other in a certain location that is not a hot spot. So definitely not Florida. So the other one would be somewhere in the Central, maybe even Chicago, or maybe Minnesota, something like that. Another bubble there for the entire Central. And then on the West Coast, have another location that is not a hotspot. I know California and a lot of the states in the West Coast are really high right now as far as the COVID cases. Well, but having 3 or 4 bubbles where they can just centralize these players. I know it's 60 games, probably even more if you get into the playoffs, and they're away from their families. But your 60 games, you're getting paid. Most of them are getting paid millions of dollars. A lot of them are not. I understand that. But you're getting paid to play a sport. And if you're playing 162, you'd be away for pretty much that amount of time. So
at least half away, half at home. Yeah,
right. But it's 81 games. Yeah. So if you're playing 60, what's the issue?
Yeah, I mean, the issue is that you have no time at all. You have no home time at all. That's the issue. Is that there's a difference between when you're playing your regular season, you're home and away. You alternate that. When you're just saying, I'm going to be gone for 60 games in 66 days. I mean, you're talking about a couple months without seeing your family, and if you won't make it to the postseason, now you're stuck there.
What if you get COVID? Now you're gone from your family regardless, right?
Absolutely.
So you can't play both sides of the card. I think this is more of a money issue.
The thing is that when they were talking about doing the bubble, they were talking about Arizona.
Nope, can't do it there.
Because you had Arizona and Florida is where you do your spring training. Okay.
Right, but you ever been in Arizona and tried playing at noon?
But that's not the issue. The issue is that Arizona and Florida, where most of your spring training takes place, those are your hot spots.
Yeah.
California is a hot spot.
Yep.
So you would be looking at maybe Atlanta?
Georgia was a hot spot too.
Is it?
Yeah.
The same as Florida?
Not as bad as Florida, but they were before Florida. That's why.
Okay, but if Florida's a hot spot, NBA can pull it off.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're talking about a much smaller operation because in NBA they're basically doing like a Final Four tournament style. They're doing
a bunch of courts,
right? You know what I mean. You got your couple of courts that everyone's playing on. You're doing your tournament style. That's what it feels like to me at least. But you could have. I would say maybe you're looking at Atlanta. You couldn't use Texas. That's another hot spot full of a bunch of crazy people who just don't care. Okay. So I said maybe you could look at Atlanta. Okay. You could have looked at somewhere like Colorado.
Okay. Nebraska.
Rockies have a stadium. Well, you need somewhere where they can a major league park.
Okay.
Okay. But the thing is, too, is that you got to remember that when you build your team, Major League Baseball is the only one whose parks change from city to city. So your dimensions are different.
Yep.
You know, that's the thing that you have to look at. You're going to have difference between your dimensions.
Your home field advantage, right?
Right. You build your team based on your field. So if your players who you've had for years are used to, okay, this is where the warning track is. This is where
yes. It'd be sloppy baseball for a while.
Yeah, and when you're talking about sloppy baseball in a 60-game season, that's a problem.
Yeah. Good point.
So we did have a lot of NFL players opt out already. Half the Pats opted out. You know what I mean? Like you're talking about a lot of defensive players on the Pats. I want to say you're looking at quite a few receivers around the league opting out as well.
Not good for Cam.
No, well, it's not. It's not good for Cam. It's not good for the league. There was a few players in the NFL that opted out already. The thing is that we're looking at a season that hasn't even started. We're just now starting to get into our off-season workouts and everything like that. So what they're getting, I want to say it's about $150,000 if it's not health related. Mm-hmm. So let's say you had an $8 million contract. You get $150,000, and that's your stipend or however they're calling it. But I think what they're doing is they're saying that it will get taken out of your salary the following year.
Okay.
You know, it's different when you have like the young guys versus the old guys. You know, it just depends because you got to remember in football, most of these guys are not making nothing. They're not making anything at all. So that's the trick of it. One last thing I did want to mention though is that before the Reds series, when the Cubs were on their way to Cincinnati,
okay,
Rizzo texted Joey Votto and said, "Hey man, I know you guys had some issues with your tests. What's going on there?" Mm-hmm. So at least we know that these guys are at least being a little bit more serious about what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, Rizzo is being cautious.
Well, Rizzo has, you know, a really good reason to be extra cautious.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And that was the thing too, is that I have a couple of friends that survived cancer, and I says, you know, I think they're just you can't live scared.
No.
You know, you can't live scared. They've already kind of been through one of the worst experiences of their life. They've been through their cancer treatments and all that stuff. So I mean, I think they have a little bit different outlook on life. Mm-hmm. You know, your YOLO kind of comes into effect. You know what I mean? So we're like, you know, getting hurt or not feeling that great, you might be a little bit more cautious as far as like your health. But if you get hurt a little bit, you're like, no big deal. Mm-hmm. You know, I cut my hand. Okay. You know, I'm not dead. So let's kind of circle back around to a little bit of national NFL news.
Yeah, we had a trade.
Yeah, big one.
A big trade. Jamal Adams was traded to the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
What do you think, man?
Look, so the Seahawks acquired Adams for a 2022 fourth-round pick from the Jets. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Seahawks acquired safety Jamal Adams and a 2022 fourth-round pick from the Jets.
For safety.
In exchange for safety Bradley McDougald and 2 first-round 2021 and 2022 first-round picks and a 2021 third-round pick. That is huge. I mean, this is on the scale of Khalil Mack.
I mean, that's a lot of picks. That's a lot of picks to give up.
Yes.
And a player.
Well, you did a pick swap.
Yeah.
Okay. So you swapped. You got the player.
Third and fourth, right?
Right. So you swapped a pick from the next draft in the fourth round, and got the player. Look, it's a huge trade. The Seahawks are going back all in, I guess, because they're trying to do whatever they can. Russell Wilson's not going to be there forever. Mm-hmm. Pete Carroll is surprisingly the oldest coach in the league. No matter when you see him chomping that gum, you think he's like 14. He's just like a young guy with like white hair.
And big chew.
Yeah, and he's chomping on that gum. I'm shocked his dentures haven't come out yet. You know, just like that chomp. He looks like those teeth, those wind-up teeth you put on your desk.
He's got some Gorilla Glue on them.
Oh, it's ridiculous. But I mean, you know, they're a good team. After seeing the Niners go to the Super Bowl last year, mm-hmm. They're like, hey, bring them in. And look, the Legion of Boom is no more.
Right. Okay? All those guys are all gone.
They're all gone. You know, when you look at how good that defense is and how different that team looks, they're bringing in a really good, really talented player, and they're going for it. Like we said before, 50% of these first-round picks never pan out. Mm-hmm. So if they get 2 picks, if the Jets get 2 picks,
Jets really need 2 picks.
They need 2 picks. But if they get 2 picks and one of them pans out, good for you. That's your 50%. If none of them pans out,
and you have control for about 3 to 4 years,
right,
at a way cheaper rate than what Jamal Adams is going to make.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, look, it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. A lot of times you see what happens is these guys ask for trade, they demand a trade, they want a trade, they don't get the trade. It happened. You know, hopefully he's happy where he went. You know, you got a team that's viable. That's the problem, is that when you get these really good players and really crappy teams, they get fed up with that. They're like, hey, I'm worth more than...
They're not used to losing. They're used to being the alpha dog on their high school team. And then in college, mm-hmm. like being the number 1 receiver or being the number 1 cornerback or safety or whatever they are. And then they get to Cleveland or to the Jets or Cincinnati.
Or the Bears.
Oh, I didn't want to. Who said that?
I didn't say that.
I think there's a ghost in here.
That wasn't me, man. I promise. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. You know, you got these teams that are hungry for defense. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They have good players on that team. So, they're just trying to shore it up. I'm very interested in seeing what they're going to do in Seattle. I definitely like Russell Wilson. It's an interesting story. You see a smaller guy, seeing what he's going to do. And he's been good for that team. They won the ship. They went to another one where they stupidly passed the ball instead of rushing it, and the Pats got another free Super Bowl. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this upcoming season. There was a last bit of thing that came out where someone asked Aaron Rodgers about his tenure in Green Bay.
In Green Bay, yeah. It looks like it might be coming to an end pretty soon, just similar to the Favre thing. Now, I mean, similar in that you have a veteran quarterback and you drafted a young guy who's pretty good that in about a year or two he will be starting for that team. Difference is that Favre was, I'm going to retire. I'm not going to retire. I'm going to retire. I'm not going to retire. Now, you still have Aaron Rodgers at the top of his game. He's got about one more year left to control. And he was asked if he would come to the rival Bears. Now, he didn't dismiss it.
No.
He laughed it off. But, I mean, talk about sticking it to the Packers if he comes to the Bears. Do I like him? No, because he's a Packer. But
it feels dirty. Let me tell you something.
It still feel dirty if you won the championship?
Kinda, yeah. Kinda.
A little tainted, a little tainted?
Yeah. I mean, like, think about it. I mean, it'd be like Pujols on the Cubs and then winning the World Series because he was the best player. I mean, like, look, don't get me wrong. Like, Rodgers is a great player. He's an all-time great if you want to look at it that way. He definitely should have won more than one Super Bowl, but so should Favre. You know?
Yeah, they both got one.
Right. So, I mean, like, am I going to put him, like, the one thing I'll say about Rodgers is you have your accuracy and your timing, and he just finds a way to get out of the pocket, But guess what? The Bears broke his collarbone not once, but twice. I think Corey Wooten from Northwestern was one of the ones that did it. No, I think he ended Favre's career in Minnesota. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
But yeah, the Bears broke his collarbone a couple times. So I mean, hey, would I like it? I don't know. I guess seeing is believing, but
I mean, we've had other players come to Chicago from rival teams,
but not from the Packers.
No,
that's different.
Usually we send our players up to Green Bay so they can retire.
Right, yeah, or they just go up there to steal some money.
Yeah.
Which I was okay when McMahon did that.
Right,
and I want to say
Peppers.
Well, Peppers still had some good years.
He did.
And because we gave him a truckload of money to get him away from Carolina, but he had some good years left. I don't count Jimmy Graham because he's a shell of his former self.
Right.
But I don't know. I kind of feel icky thinking about it, man. I'm going to be honest with you.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a pause for the cause, and when we come back, we'll have a brand new song by our very own Jay Soto.
Welcome back to TCSF Pod. Now for your listening pleasure, let me introduce a brand new joint by our very own Jay Soto. Let the games begin. Baseball's back.
The 2020 season has arrived. It's time to swing for the fences. Forget the high fives. Baseball's back in a whole new way. Only 60 games, no time to really play. DH in the NL, DH in the A. Hometown teams, now we get to really play. North versus South, away is really home. Now we get to see who really on the throne. Cubs to the Sox, Yanks to the Mets. Dodgers and the Angels, rookies to the vets. Rep your favorite teams, bats to the masks. In the league play, what you think about that? A new way to play, it's a new way to watch. The day has arrived since the world all stopped. And we can't wait till we hear that first pop. Opening days on the clock.
Hey, Let the Games Begin by Jay Soto, our producer, just came up with that, put it together, shared it with us, and guess what? I'm ready to play myself.
Give me your bat, give me your ball. Let's go.
Yeah, we're not running the first, though.
No, I'm not running at all. I'm not running at all. I already got a fake hip. I don't need to be running. Yeah, baseball's back. Let the games begin. Produced by All Rounder. Written and performed by Jay Soto. That was dope. All right. So we got one little thing we got to take care of, man.
What do we got to take care of?
We got to take care of our stirring the pot.
Oh.
Stirring the pot.
Get my cabbage patch on.
All right. So last week we did food, right?
Yeah, we did.
We did food. Guess what we're going to do this week?
I don't know. Well, it's not baseball teams.
No, it's going to be food, man. It's going to be food,
man.
we're
doing food again.
We're going to. So here's a question for you.
Sure.
What's a staple food that you eat at a ballpark?
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Hot dogs. Boy. So here's a question.
No ketchup, bro. No ketchup.
No, come on. Stop that. Stop that mess. Never. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh, boy. I feel like I'm being set up on this one. So here I go. My logic is it's got to be a sandwich. You got 2 pieces of bread encompassing a piece of meat.
I mean, it's one piece of bread. It's one piece of bread, man.
Why? Because it's folded open? So,
yeah.
So, wait. To your logic, one piece of bread, right? You get a French bread, right? You go to Subway. You go to Jimmy John's.
You have them cut it open.
They cut it open, right? Mm-hmm. It's still one piece of bread. It's still a sandwich.
I mean,
I think I got you on this one.
Maybe. I mean, look.
Yes.
Is a taco a sandwich?
Nope.
Why?
Because it's not bread.
What? Okay, but it's a form of bread.
That's not.
Yeah, of course it
is. Not a bread. It's
of course,
tortilla.
Is it Euro a sandwich?
Yes, because that's pita bread.
Oh, pita bread, but it's still a pita. You call it a pita, but look at what it is.
It's bread, though. It's baked. It's baked.
Okay, well, what is a tortilla?
Not baked. I don't bake my tortillas to cook them.
No. I mean, but the concept is similar. I'll say this. Yeah, hot dog's a sandwich, man. All right, I'll let you have it. Yeah, hot dog's a sandwich. However you want to put it. I mean, it's bread and meat. You know, it's a sandwich. It's the very definition of a sandwich. Guess what? You know what else is a sandwich? A hamburger.
Yes, it is.
I mean, come on. Yeah. I've heard people argue it's not.
Oh my God.
I'm like, okay, take out that beef, put in a piece of chicken. What do you call it?
Chicken sandwich.
Yeah, you don't call it a chicken burger. It's a chicken sandwich, all right?
All right, so I'm going to throw it back at you. You live over here on the northwest side, and you've got a pretty good hot dog place by you. Mm-hmm. I mean, people travel to come get a hot dog from you.
You talking about Gene and Jude's?
I am talking about Gene and Jude's. Gene and Jude's.
Okay.
All right, and then I live more towards the west side of Chicago. Mm-hmm. And I got a little spot by me, maybe a little bit of shady sometimes, depending what time of the night you go. But you know what kind of sandwich you're getting when the grease from the fries are making your bag transparent. Mm-hmm. So we got Jimmy's and we got Gene and Jude's. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna stir the pot.
Okay.
Which one are you getting?
I don't care.
Uh-oh.
I don't care.
Same.
Here's my problem.
Yeah.
You know what makes the two places different? Number one, Gene and Jude's is not a Chicago-style hot dog.
Okay.
Gene and Jude's is what's called a depression dog.
Uh-oh.
Okay. It doesn't have all the regular Chicago-style toppings on it. Mm-hmm. It's still a good hot dog. Okay. The fries are homemade. They're fresh cut fries. Mm-hmm. Fine. That's fine. Yeah. Same thing with Jimmy's.
Yeah.
There's not much difference. People that argue over hot dogs in Chicago drive me insane because every place is pretty much using the same Vienna beef hot dogs.
Yes, sir.
You're not doing anything different to these hot dogs.
Right.
Stop arguing about the stupid hot dog. You know which place is your favorite place?
Which one?
The place that you have nostalgia.
Yeah.
The place that you grew up in.
That's
the place
true.
your parents took you to after a game, before a game, or after your little league, whatever it is, the place that was in your hood, that's your favorite place.
Yeah.
So you can say, well, the fries are better here, and that's fine.
That's
your preference.
It's attached to some feeling.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So stop it, all right? Jimmy's is cool, and Gene and Juice is cool.
Yes, it is.
You can call whatever. Super Dog is cool, okay?
Yeah.
Super Dog got a big fat hot dog. That's the way I call it, Super Dog.
Hey!
But and glowing red eyes. But guess what? I don't even get a hot dog at Super Dog. I go get a burger because their burgers are great.
Yeah, DePaul has a good spot too.
Devil Dogs?
Yeah, Devil Dogs.
Yeah. Well, is it Devil Dogs, Demon Dogs?
Demon Dogs, yes.
But the one that was under the tracks is gone.
Yes.
Because they moved half of DePaul around. But look, guys, it's all the same Vienna beef dog we've been eating our whole life. It's not that much different. You can have your preference just because you like one spot over the other.
But the hot dog itself tastes exactly
the same damn thing, y'all. Stop arguing about it. All right, y'all. We're coming to the end of the show. I do want to give a shout out to Ronesh for letting us use the beat that we use for our intro song. Another shout out to our producer Jay Soto for the lyrics of our intro song and putting it all together. Shout out to the AltNet podcast. Catch them every other Monday opposite of ours. Also check out the brand new Northside Dugout every week with Ideal Throw MC. Shout out to our producer Jay Soto again. Check us out at our social media. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and reach out to us on our email, truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com.
Biggest shout out is to our fans. Keep listening, sharing, and subscribing. I know you guys are listening because we're getting personal feedback. I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely, man. You guys have been great. Please give us a shout out on all of our platforms. Keep listening. Again, truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. And lastly, I want to acknowledge my boy Mike One. Mike One left us 3 years ago this week. We love you. We miss you. And your presence is felt all the time.
Good.
All right, y'all. For Big Z, this is E-Rock. And until next time, be good to each other for the love of sports.